Howdy and welcome to the Mighty Mo Chuck channel. It's a Chuck. I was watching a video. It was a real pretty young woman, and her videos are generally makeup, but she also plays Minecraft some. And her channel is borderline to being accepted into the advertisement program, YouTube's advertisement program. And she was wondering, okay, so she gets over that 4,000 hours. Okay, some of those are watch hours go back toward the beginning of the 12-month period. In other words, those hours are going to be falling back out, so they will no longer be counted. And she was wondering also about, so she gets past that hour requirement. She's a little bit above the 1,000 subscriber levels. I think it's 1,200 subscribers she's got. So she's kind of on the cusp on that too. And she's wondering, okay, so she meets the minimum and then later she falls out of the minimum. Or say she's kicked out of the program and then she goes above the minimum requirements. Will she be accepted just to be kicked back out again? Now, I don't have any inside information, but my take on it is what YouTube put forth was the minimum requirements for their advertisement partner program. There's no guarantee that even if you meet those minimum requirements that you'll be accepted back into the program. I would get, like if I was running YouTube, I would have the official minimum requirements, but then I would tell the employees, look, we don't want them falling in and out of the program, so the actual requirements are this. In other words, there'll be an invisible number that the average YouTuber won't be aware of, but to actually get back in the program, there's probably a higher number that you'll have to meet, and there's probably other criteria that you'll have to meet too. In other words, it's not a given, even if you meet that minimum requirements, you'll be accepted back into the program. That minimum requirement basically was if you didn't meet it, you're kicked out of the program. That's my take on it. I don't have any inside information. I don't dine with the YouTube crowd. Obviously. Now, one thing I wanted to touch on is there's something going on over at Twitter. There's executives jumping ship. Some of them are lower, some of them are higher, but they're executives jumping ship. And some of them is obviously for career advancements because they're going to other companies, and it's obvious they're going toward other companies, other jobs that will offer more potential for their career, and that's the reason they're jumping ship. At the same time, when you see this, you kind of wonder, okay, what's going on? Because like at Zynga, when the things were really getting bad there, you had people were leaving. You tend to see that in high-tech companies. When there's a signal that there's about to be a big change, people start putting out fillers to these other companies and say, look, I'm available if you want me. I want a promotion from what I've got, obviously, but I am available if you want me. And part of the reason they do that is they don't really see career advancement at the company they're at. And there's rumors at that water cooler that something's going on. There's rumors going on that there's something going on. So, yeah, I think behind the scenes something is brewing at Twitter. I'm not sure what it could be. Something's happening over at Twitter. So if you're an investor in Twitter, you may be wanting to watch that investment carefully and really keep up with things because something's going on over there. As some of you may be familiar with Edgar Cayce's predictions, and of course the timeline is already off on some of those predictions. In other words, you would think that some of those predictions would have already happened if they're going to happen, but they haven't happened. Still, Edgar Cayce was interested in some of his predictions during his lifetime actually did happen, and some of his readings actually benefited people. I don't think he was a charlatan. I really don't. I think there was something there. I think he was in touch with the other side and was able to pull information off the Cayce record, or Cayce, however you say that. Just assume I mispronounce this type of times. I call it the Cayce record or Cayce record. It's a tree of knowledge. That's what it is. And I think he was able to pull from that. And anyway, one of his predictions was that California would sink into the ocean. That was one of his predictions. It hasn't happened. They've had a lot of problems. Apple had a lot of problems. They haven't sunk into the ocean. But like in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, when people would talk about that prediction, they'd say, no, there's no way California would sink in the ocean. That's just ridiculous. There's no fault line that would cause California to sink in the ocean. No, it's impossible, 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 impossible. Now they're coming out with a thing, and what they're saying is that there's what's called the Cascadia Subduction Zone, and they're making clear, they're making public, they're driving home the fact that the Cascadia Fault could destroy California, Washington, Oregon. It could trigger earthquakes over 9.1. It could create tsunamis that would flood Japan. That's coming back into the news now. They're the Cascadia Subduction Zone. I don't think people were totally unaware of it. I think even when they were trying to say, no, that can't happen, I think it was already, I think at least people that was familiar with that type of stuff, I think they were already familiar with the Cascadia Subduction Zone, I think. But still, they want to say, no, that can't happen, that can't happen, that can't happen. But now they're saying, well, maybe not exactly, but it come pretty close to it. Pretty close to it. And of course, you've got where the speed of Earth is slowing down, and that's causing the equator to actually shrink. And as the equator shrinks, it puts more pressure on these different fault lines. So there's a lot of fault lines that pressure is building up. So a lot of people in the know are really expecting some really bad earthquakes to happen unless Earth speeds back up. Because that equator is being shrunk and it's putting pressure on these different fault lines. That's something you probably should be aware of, I think. I'm not trying to scaremonger. I'm not trying to do scare porn here. I'm just saying, just be aware. It is something out there. So anyway, much thanks for watching and listening. I do appreciate it, man. I do appreciate it. I do. Thank you.